Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, it is the perennial question California has debated in and outside of court for decades. Should the state repeal the death penalty? We'll tell you about the latest efforts now to put that question on the ballot.
And parenting as a grandparent for more than 20,000 people in San Diego County, it's the new normal. County officials are reaching out to these families with practical and emotional support. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Farian.
And I'm Dwayne Brown. It's been nearly 2 months since the lights went out all over San Diego County.
Today, there was a public hearing to look at what went wrong. KPBS reporter Jill Replogle was at that meeting. She joins us now by phone. Jill, what have you learned so far about the cause of the blackout?
Well, not a whole lot of new stuff, but they did emphasize that the blackout was not caused by this one utility worker in Yuma, as was sort of the rumor that spread around. It was sparked by that worker, but there was a series of more than 20 events that happened within 11 minutes. Some of those events are connected, some of them are not, but the blackout should not have happened because of that one line from Yuma to California going out. That wasn't, there are enough backups put in place that should not have happened.
So is this public hearing expected to result in any type of action?
There have been some recommendations. There are different panels at the meeting, the hearing, and so they've talked to emergency responders, they've talked to the wireless communications and the wastewater is what's going on now. And so different assembly members are making sort of recommendations, but it's really sort of an informational session.
KPBS reporter Jill Replogle.
Last night we told you about an animal rights group's plans to sue SeaWorld over the way it treats its killer whales. The suit was filed this morning. KPBS business reporter Eric Anderson discussed the case with a legal expert. He's in the news center with more. So, Eric, what did the legal analysts have to say about this case?
Well, they just said it was an interesting legal question. What they were wondering is whether or not there is a basis for the lawsuit. What PETA says is that the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States, also applies to orcas, the killer whales held at SeaWorld, who were snatched from the wild and forced to live in these cages and perform for audiences. They call that a form of slavery. And the constitutional law expert I talked to today, Glenn Smith at the Cal Western School of Law, said it's an interesting constitutional question because the 13th Amendment does not specify humans. Of course, orcas are non-human animals, and the question is whether or not the courts will buy the argument there. He says, you know, it's obviously an attempt to get some attention for their issue, but he did not dismiss the legal arguments out of hand.
The California Supreme Court has unanimously rejected 2 Republican challenges to the state's new electoral maps. Republican leaders say the new Senate and congressional maps don't comply with the Voting Rights Act. They also say the maps don't meet constitutional criteria. The justices rejected those claims. The new maps were drawn by a citizens committee and were approved in July.
A statewide campaign to replace California's death penalty came to San Diego today. It's aimed at getting voter support for a ballot measure in November 2012. I spoke to a couple of people who are passionate about the issue.
I know firsthand from other victims, families of loved ones, their loved ones were murdered too. They feel the same way. The death penalty doesn't do anything for them.
We're on the steps of the Hall of Justice here in downtown San Diego, and this is where advocates who want to overturn California's death penalty have gathered to tell their story. A broad coalition of law enforcement, victims' families, and community groups are backing the Safe California Act. It seeks voter support to replace the death penalty with life in prison without the possibility of parole. This woman's 26-year-old son was run over by a drunk driver. She says the death penalty doesn't work.
In the beginning, there's the shock factor. As the shock wears down, you start to become angry. And then as you go through the justice system, that's a joke in and of itself because you have no say-so in anything.
This minister supports the campaign for 2 reasons. He says it should save the state money and keep innocent people from being wrongly put to death.
At the heart of this issue is the fact that we have found out that 138 folks have been exonerated after, in some cases, after their death.
The Safe California campaign says 46% of murders and 56% of rapes go unsolved in California, while millions are spent housing inmates on death row. If approved by voters, the initiative would set aside about $100 million to help solve some of these cases. With a broader look at this story, Joanne is over at the Evening Edition Roundtable with two guests to talk about the death penalty.
As you just saw, a group opposing capital punishment in California has launched a campaign to replace the death penalty with life without parole. We'll have an interview with a member of the group and a former San Diego district attorney in just a moment. But first, some history on the death penalty in California. The death penalty has been legal in the state since 1871. However, it's faced several legal challenges, especially in the 1970s. In 1973, the United States Supreme Court ruled the death penalty was unconstitutional. But just 5 years later, in 1978, voters approved Proposition 7, the current death penalty statute. Since then, California has executed 13 inmates and spent $4 billion on capital punishment. That's at least according to one report. Joining me to talk about the campaign to overturn the death penalty are Natasha Minsker, Safe Campaign Manager, and Paul Finks. Mr. Finks served as San Diego County District Attorney for 8 years, and he's now in private practice. Natasha, pardon me, let's begin with you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Why do you think voters are ready to change their minds now?
The attitudes in California have changed. Polls show that when California voters are given the choice between the death penalty and life without possibility of parole, over and over again, voters choose life without parole. And that's because Californians have learned. More and more California voters know that the death penalty risks executing the innocent. Innocent people have been wrongfully convicted here in California. Innocent people have been executed in other states like Texas. Texas put to death Cameron Todd Willingham just a couple of years ago, even though experts now agree that he was innocent of the crime that he was executed for.
Isn't your campaign, though, really focused on trying to convince people that they're going to save money? Even the name of the ballot measure does not really talk about the death penalty. Why take this new direction?
That is also the new information that California voters are learning. New studies have shown that the death penalty is enormously costly here in California. A new report by federal judge Arthur Alarcon and law professor Paula Mitchell found just recently in June that California has spent $4 billion on the death penalty since 1978. And in that time, we've carried out 13 executions. That works out to over $300 million per execution.
Now, Mr. Finks, when you were district attorney, you did pursue the death penalty a number of times, I think 22 times. So do we assume, first of all, that you don't approve of this measure?
No.
Or?
No, I think that's an unfair assumption. I've prosecuted the death penalty. I also defended against the death penalty. I have a client right now facing the death penalty. And I've not taken a position on this at all. I think if somebody wants to put the question before the public as to whether we want a death penalty in the state of California, I think from time to time the public should weigh in and tell us. I think that's a great idea. I think what we have here is a little bit of a bait and switch, though. I think there are weak numbers, and the plan is, even the name of it doesn't say what it really is. We want to abolish the death penalty, which has a perfectly moral clarity to that, which I respect. But saying that we should decide this on numbers and money, that the claim is going to come back and do other good things, is phony, because Sacramento doesn't work that way. It's not going to come back here. There's going to be some temporary give money back to the locals, but that'll dry up. So the issue comes, should we have a death penalty or not? And I think that's a great question from time to time to put to the voters.
Why not put that question to the voters?
That is the question that's being put to the voters. Do they prefer the death penalty or life without possibility of parole? What this initiative does is it replaces the death penalty with life without parole. It requires everyone convicted of murder to work in prison and to pay some restitution to the victims of their crimes. And it takes a small portion of the money that we are going to save by replacing the death penalty, and it puts it into a fund that will go to local law enforcement. The reason for that is that we are in the middle of an economic crisis, and law enforcement are being laid off across the state. Rape kits are not being tested because we don't have the resources to do what we need to do. And as a result, 46% of the murders go unsolved. 56% of reported rapes go unsolved.
Do you think that's a fair link, though? The one causes the other?
No, I think it's entirely too clever by half. The fact is saying putting prisoners to work in prison sounds really good. Okay, who's against that? Of course, they don't make anything at present except pennies. So you can take a percentage of their pennies and put it into a restitution fund, and nothing's going to happen. It's a sweetener. To say that money's going back to locals is to say, think of all the money that will solve crimes. It won't. That's not really the issue. I respect the principled position on death, but if we want to save money, why are we saving it on the worst of the worst? In the death penalty cases, why don't we save money on the lesser criminals by changing the 3 strikes law and various other types of things? You can make real savings. So I think what happens here is this is a very cleverly created ballot initiative tending to lead people to believe that if you pass this initiative, you'll send billions of dollars, which will come back to local law enforcement and do lots of good things. And I don't think that will happen. If the initiative was, we think the death penalty is wrong, it's morally wrong, it is indefensible, and it should be eliminated, I'm all for having that vote every 10 years, 15 years or so. And if the public has changed their mind, that's what we have a right to do.
Well, you get to the point here. I mean, haven't California voters proven to be very fickle? And then the courts go and intervene. The voters might say one thing, the voters say another.
This is actually the first time the voters are ever going to have the opportunity to choose between the death penalty and life without possibility of parole. And even when the voters instituted the death penalty in 1978, well, I was 7 then. A lot has changed in California in those intervening years, and attitudes have changed. And people really have learned. We didn't know in 1978 about DNA proving innocent people have been sentenced to death in this country. We didn't know how much the death penalty would cost us over the next 30 years. Now we know, and knowing that, it's time for voters to actually, for the first time, make that choice. What makes sense for the people of California, the death penalty or life without possibility of parole?
Natasha Minsker and Paul Finks, thank you both for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thousands of San Diego grandparents are finding themselves parenting again, raising their grandchildren. The county is now taking steps to help these grandparents. We'll learn more about it in just a few minutes. But first, the Mexican drug war is inspiring a new cultural trend among young Latino Americans. The story is coming up from our Fronteras desk. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight on KPBS, the Everglades has become a great dumping ground for non-native species. One is flourishing out of control. Invasion of the giant pythons on Nature at 8. Then, through an autopsy like no other, scientists attempt to unravel the life and death of the Iceman mummy on Nova at 9. And at 10, ancient artifacts turn Aztec history on its head on Secrets of the Dead, Aztec Massacre. That's all tonight on KPBS.
The American people have named PBS
the most trusted source of news
and public affairs
for the 8th year
in a row.
Trust.
The American people have spoken.
Thank you. I'm Jeffrey Brown. On the next News Hour, a newsmaker interview with the president of the UAW as the big 3 automakers and workers agree to new contracts. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
There's a hot new cultural trend among young Mexican Americans, similar to the early development of hip-hop. Music is at the core, but it's also about fashion and language. It's alternative, largely underground, and it finds its inspiration in the brutal Mexican drug war. From our Fronteras desk, Jill Replogle introduces us to several people from Southern California who are shaping it.
At 25 years old, Eleno Serna is doing well. He recently opened his 3rd clothing shop in the San Diego area, catering towards the young and hip. His top-selling items? Shirts with flashy depictions of skeletons toting AK-47s and likenesses of Mexican drug lords.
This one, a lot of people like this one, the flocking. It gives it like a more expensive touch.
The images of Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, considered one of Mexico's original cartel leaders. The shirt is one of the hottest-selling items in Serna's Antrax clothing line. He started the company just a year ago, and now he says he has more orders than he can handle. Many of Serna's biggest clients are bands and their followers who play a new kind of corrido music called movimiento alterado. Corridos are Mexican ballads. Movimiento alterado translates loosely to altered state. And like Serna's clothing designs, Movimiento Alterado bands capitalize on the increasingly ruthless battle among Mexican drug traffickers. This song is called Sanguinarios del M1, or the Bloodthirsty of M1. M1 is a nickname for a suspected Sinaloan trafficker named Manuel Torres Felix. The song starts like this, with a goat's horn, that's slang for an AK-47, and a bazooka in the crook of the neck, taking off the heads of anyone who crosses. We're bloodthirsty, crazy, agitated, we like to kill. This YouTube video has gotten more than 12 million hits. Movimiento Alterado is the brainchild of Burbank-based music producers Omar and Adolfo Valenzuela.
My twin Adolfo.
Twin brothers who came to California from Sinaloa, Mexico when they were in high school.
Welcome to the music business.
They thought up Movimiento Alterado a few years ago while searching for a market for some new bands.
We made a couple mixes, CD mixes, and when we went out in the streets and in the internet to promote those groups, that's how it started.
Now, Adolfo says, there are thousands of bands performing what they call alterado music on both sides of the border. Elijah Wald, a Boston-based musician who wrote a book about so-called narco corridos, or ballads about drug trafficking, likens Movimiento Alterado to gangster rap, but tailored to the growing population of young Mexican Americans.
This is music for somebody who is equally into hip-hop and corridos.
In fact, Valenzuela and his brother are in talks with Snoop Dogg about recording songs together.
How you say it again? Alterado. Alterado.
But as with gangster rap, some are questioning whether a popular youth culture that glorifies violence, this time of the Mexican drug war, can stoke that same violence. Narcocorridos have actually been outlawed in several Mexican states. Valenzuela says he's just giving people what they want.
It's a market. It's a market, and I'm in the music industry. And if I don't do it, someone else is doing it.
Back at the clothing store, Serna says the El Padrino image represents power.
It's just an image, you know, saying how someone, you know, that it's poor, that with hard work and all that stuff can become, you know, wealthy and help people and stuff.
At the same time, Serna says the violence across the border hurts him too.
I was born here in the United States, but I'm also Mexican. And it hurts me, you know, it hurts me to see my country like that. It's just fashion, you know, like you gotta give people what they want to buy right now because they like it, they want to buy it, they're asking for it.
Serna is on his way to designing shoes and hats as well, but he says his next round of designs will be a little tamer.
Some people like very busy stuff, some people like very calm.
That story from KPBS Fronteras reporter Jill Replogo. While Mexican corrido music has a long history of violent lyrics, observers say one of the differences with Movimiento Alterado is it brings the lyrics to life through music, videos, and fashion. And it's spreading quickly thanks to the internet.
At a time when most grandparents are relaxing and enjoying the independence of their grown children, others are finding themselves raising their grandchildren. There are more than 20,000 grandparents in San Diego County in this situation. This week, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors approved an initiative to provide services to those families. Joining me are Pam Smith, Director for Aging and Independence with San Diego County, and Liz Flores, a grandparent who helped raise 3 of her grandchildren. Thank you, both ladies, for being here. Pam, let's begin with what specifically did the county do this week in terms of this program?
Well, in recognition of this the growing numbers of grandparents raising grandkids, Supervisor Cox introduced a board letter and the board unanimously supported, asking us to put together a plan as to how we can better support the growing numbers of grandparents raising grandkids. So they really set the context for it, but asked us to go out and work with the community and across all of our county divisions to say, how can we better coordinate, what can we better do, and how can we strengthen the safety net and support these families.
So Liz, you're one of these 20,000 grandparents. How did you find yourself in this situation?
Just life. Things happened, and there they were at my door, and I chose to keep them with me versus having them go elsewhere, and they've been there ever since.
How old were they at the time?
2.5 and 5, both little girls.
And did you have any idea of what, I mean, you had raised kids, obviously. Did you know at this point where to even begin in terms of putting them in school or getting them health care?
No, I just had to contact the good old county, and they came to the assistance and gave me some basic core information, and just enrolled. The older one was in school, the younger one was not. So the main thing for me was seeking child care so that I could work.
So do you hear this story, Pam? Is this a common story?
We do, and the numbers have really risen sharply, especially since 2008 with the economic downturn. That's complicated it and put extra pressures on families. And the issues, you know, it's never a good reason that a grandparent's raising a grandchild. And the issues are so complex. There's legal issues. What rights does a grandparent have, you know, making decisions, healthcare decisions, school decisions. There's emotional, sometimes, issues, because the grandparents and the children or the grandchildren may be angry at the parent that's not there. There's housing issues. Senior may be living in senior housing, and now all of a sudden you can't have kids there and you've got them, or you need a bigger place. So the issues are complex and many, and we want to better coordinate. We've done some work, but it's been a bit fragmented, and this is really about moving forward on a major countywide effort to better coordinate those services, really help be proactive in helping them find the resources they need, the education, information they need, especially in today's world.
Liz, what were some of those issues that you faced? Was it emotional, housing? What were some of the issues you faced?
All of the above. Well, I lived in a 3-bedroom. I had to downsize to a 1-bedroom, and then there they were. And so then we lived in very cramped spaces for a while because I thought that it was just going to be a short-term situation. And then as time progressed, it was just no space. So we had to find another location, and then drove around and found one, and it was the main factor was that it was so close to the school. It was in walking distance.
Did you find help? Was it easy to get help?
Not really. I had major issue with childcare for me. I had to ask friends and then meet people that were willing to take care of them. Got to be very costly, extremely costly. They ended up through the kinship program. They had a day after school program, so I was able to get them enrolled in that, and that was at no cost to me, which was a big help because that transferred the money that I was using for childcare to meet their needs, as more financial needs for them, such as clothing and shoes, things, your basics. I'm not talking extravagant, just your basic needs.
What about the adjustment for the girls?
The older one was very traumatized. She would have nightmares at night. She's very clingy, you know, come back, don't leave me, where are you? The younger one was more, she was 2.5, so she just cared about the bottle. I mean, she had her bottle, she was content. But it was just challenging, and as they got older, they started asking questions about where's my mom, where's my dad, those kind of things. So it was just kind of, that was the hard part. Just focusing on being positive, I think, was a key to helping them to develop in a normal setting.
Just quickly, before we go, we don't have a lot of time, what would you tell other grandparents in this situation?
Oh, the best, it's a blessing to have them there. They're safe with you, and just keep loving them. Focus solely on the children, because that's what it's all about, just focusing on them, and it will get better with time.
Pam, is there a website we can send our viewers to?
Yes, you can come to our Aging and Independent Services website or call our toll-free number, 800-510-2020, and if people want to get involved. But we're really going to develop some strong supports for our grandparents here.
Pam Smith and Liz Flores, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
A new report says California schools are falling short in teaching science. That's coming up in our public square. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Don't miss America in Primetime.
Television is first and foremost about storytelling.
Most writers have always wanted to delve into the soul and what makes us tick.
It can, at its best, kind of bring people together and help define a culture.
America in Prime Time, Sunday at 8 on KPBS.
Throughout its 50-year history, KPBS's news and public affairs programs have challenged conventional thinking. We're investigating issues before they reach a crisis. Our world is much more than just today's headlines, and KPBS helps all of us explore what's next so that we can take action now.
Is time travel possible? Do you exist in another universe? The questions are infinite. The answers start here. Nova, the fabric of the cosmos, premieres Wednesday, November 2nd at 9, only on PBS.
Welcome back to the Public Square and KPBS Evening Edition. A study released this week showed science education is missing from California elementary schools. It's less than an hour a week. The report was commissioned by the Center for the Future of Teaching and Learning. It found California kids are not being prepared for math and science careers of the future. Well, many of you had something to say about this story, including Milka on Facebook. She says we're training kids to be good at taking tests, but not applying any of the learning to real-life applications. Elizabeth says social studies is gone too in lower grades, so is social play, and I see the impact of poor socialization once they hit middle school. And finally, Nathan says, I imagine that 7 years of budget cuts might have something to do with this. Well, you can weigh in on the conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and of course, you can email us. And now Dwayne has a recap of our top stories.
Two state assembly committees held a hearing today to look into last month's big blackout in San Diego County. Power industry officials say they still don't know precisely what caused the cascade of outages. And opponents of the death penalty are trying to get a ban onto the California ballot today. They launched a petition drive. They have to collect just over 500,000 signatures by mid-March. And People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals filed suit against SeaWorld today over the treatment of its killer whales. KPBS spoke to a legal expert who says he's not convinced the group will win, but if they prevail, there could be sweeping impacts affecting pets and livestock. And finally tonight, an old county building went out with a bang today. Take a look.
1, 2, 3.
The old Health and Human Services building is being demolished to make way for a new waterfront park. The 11-acre park will include gardens and a fountain.
You're going to see a magnificent fountain, a fountain that will be 830 feet long, and a fountain that will not have a sign that says, keep out. It's going to have a fountain that says, get wet.
Construction of the new park will begin in the spring. It's expected to be open by late 2013. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.